Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at all of the Play Arts Kai Super Street Fighter 4 figures. People have been asking me about height comparisons, as they normally do, because using a ruler in the review apparently isn't enough information for these people, which is fine. That's okay. You don't have to check every review because in this review I will tell you all of their heights and if they're accurate. As we know, Play Arts Kai doesn't always follow scale, especially between lines. Their scales are all over the place, and even within the particular license, sometimes they don't necessarily all have the proper scaling. So I've gone through the huge amount of effort that it took to look in my official Street Fighter encyclopedia to get all of the height measurements for each of these characters so that we can tell if they are in scale or not. So let's look at the guys first. The two shortest guys of these are Ken and Ryu. They measure in both at 175 centimeters. If you'll look at the figures, Ken is slightly taller than Ryu, so therefore they're out of scale. They're close enough though that once you pose them, it won't matter. So that's a good thing. It is not the best situation, but it will suffice. Ryu measures just under 9. Ken measures just over 9 inches tall. So they are not quite in scale, but pretty darn close. Next up we have Akuma, or Akuma. He is 3 centimeters taller than them according to the encyclopedia at 178 centimeters, and he is just about the same height as Ken. So again, not quite accurate, but close enough to where it's doable. It's okay. And then we have Guile, who measures in at 182 centimeters, which puts him at 7 centimeters above Ken and Ryu, and what did I say? 4 above Akuma. And if you'll look, he's pretty much the same height as Akuma. So again, they're not quite right, but they're close enough to where it's not going to be a problem once you get them posed, because they're not going to be standing straight up and down. Guile measures in at about 9.5. Well, I guess he's a little bit taller if you count his hair. About 9.5 for Guile, about 9.25 for Akuma. So he's a little bit taller, but it's mostly due to the hair. So either way, the moral of the story is they're not quite to scale, but they're close enough to where it's not a problem. Now the ladies have a little bit more variation in their height in terms of the figures, but let's see how it looks. The shortest of the ladies is Sakura at 157. Which is not good, because right now she is taller than Cammy, and Cammy's the third tallest. So we have Sakura at 157, Ibuki at 162, Cammy at 164, and Chun-Li at 169. These two should have been switched. Cammy is way too short, seeing that she should just be a little bit shorter than Chun-Li. She's the shortest out of all of them, so that's not ideal. That's going to be a problem for some people. It's kind of a problem for me. Sakura's too tall, Cammy's too short. Chun-Li is nice and tall, and she's actually probably too tall because she's supposed to be 6 centimeters shorter than Ken and Ryu, and she's pretty close to their height. She's not exactly, but she's just shy, so she is supposed to be the tallest of the females, so that's a good thing. And then Ibuki's second tallest, and she's about the same height as Sakura. So let's check some measurements. Chun-Li measures in at 8.75, just about. Sakura is 8.25. Ibuki is 8.25. And then Cammy is 8. So you can see they're not quite to scale. They're close. They're not so far off that it's going to be a huge problem. As you can see, they still look awesome all together, and once you pose them at all, it's not going to matter in the slightest bit because they're all going to have their knees bent and their legs bent different ways. So I vote that it's not a problem. I think you should probably buy them all because they're all awesome, even if they have a few problems here and there. They're all super duper, so go buy them. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.